We chapters will do themed classes and stuff, but we're honoring someone special today, someone who has truly given their life to DeMolay and worked very hard to make it better. And that man is sitting right there, Dad Keith Klein. He is past Grand Master of DeMolay, and he is the current Grand Secretary of DeMolay, and many other titles. He is a past EO of Indiana DeMolay, and many other good things to say about him. So I would just like to invite him up here to say a few things. Brother Senior Deacon, would you please escort Dad Keith Klein through here?
Sit down. First of all, it's an incredible honor to have a class in DeMolay named after you, and I can't thank the gentlemen here of Speedway Chapter enough for what they've done. For you moms and dads, there's some things I want to speak specifically to you about, but first of all, to Sam and Thomas, I want to say to you, congratulations. It's over 50 years ago, I was in a chapter like you are in now, and became a member of DeMolay. I was 14 years old. That was the starting age for DeMolay at the time. And I have never looked back and never had as much fun or met as many great people as I have in DeMolay. So I wish for you that you have the same great enjoyment about being a part of DeMolay that I've had. To moms and dads that are here with us, I've been a part of higher education for over 35 years. And one of the things that you always are concerned about for your young man is, you know, what happens? Can we get him in college? Can we get him a job? Can we get him taken care of things? And I have some numbers I want to give you about this chapter, but I want you to know that this chapter has got some of the finest young men you'll find anywhere in DeMolay. And one of them sitting back there in the back, and that's Jake. And Jake Vermillion was an intern for us in DeMolay International last summer, and he's coming back this summer again because he did such a great job. We made an exception, and we're having 3 interns this summer instead of 2. And if you look around at the rest of the guys in this chapter, and a lot of them you're not seeing here tonight, who have done incredible things for themselves and DeMolay in Indiana. But I want to read you some numbers because we have done something that we haven't done in the past. I've gone through as Grand Secretary and taken some numbers from that. And I want you to know that I took 2 chapters, this one obviously because it's one of the best chapters in Indiana, has been consistently. And I took one of the up-and-coming chapters, it's been around for a while, but it's really coming on strong, and that's York-Wright chapter. So with just 2 chapters in Indiana DeMolay, I want to read you some of their accomplishments and what it means that they're a part of this. This is a 3-year point, 2018, 17, and 16. And for the chapters, we have 17 members have been initiated, 37 members have been initiated in 3 years in those 3 years in just Speedway chapter. And we go to 28 for York-Wright. So we have a total in 3 years of 65 members just from Speedway and York-Wright chapter. That's a pretty hefty number. Then if we look at the number of scholarships that have been received in those 2 chapters, in those 3 years, it's 26. 26 college scholarships for our Speedway DeMolay. Then if we look at the kinds of things that colleges are looking for admission, of what have these young people done besides get good grades, and good grades are important, but it's not the only thing colleges are looking at anymore. One of them is community service. Another one is philanthropy, and I want to tell you some things about these 2 chapters because it's crucial. In terms of the scholarship value, remember I told you about 26 scholarships? Well, for the Speedway chapter, that's $25,300. $25,300 in college scholarships for one reason only. They're a member of DeMolay. And because we are the world's largest service and leadership fraternity for young people, this is amazing. I'm going to give you some numbers that go beyond the $25,300 in just a second. We have a Koch essay contest. Speedway just tears that one up. They've continued to tear it up. They continue to earn money on that. And this year, both of the people from Region 4, which is Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Virginia, Ohio, and Michigan. Those regions, those chapters, those states, have contributed winners, and Speedway has 2 of them this year, and potentially there's a $5,000 cash prize that's going to be coming out of this for the winner internationally. Another number that I want to share with you is achievement. And these are things like, we want our kids not to be just DeMolay. We want them to do other things. And so we got a lot of DeMolays that are Eagle Scouts. We got a lot of DeMolays that are doing amazing things in school and in church and organizations within their communities. And in terms of achievement awards, Speedway chapter has 36, York-Rite has 4, for a total of 40 achievement awards. These are young men who are DeMolays and do other things too. Philanthropy that I mentioned for you, Speedway chapter had 13 philanthropic projects. And then you have a total dollar value. And by the way, this is something that I'm intrigued by. Volunteer hours. Each state has a dollar value of what a volunteer hour is worth. And they don't make a distinction between an adult and a young person. In Indiana, it's $24.13 per hour of what young people volunteer for. You're going to hear I'm going to talk about Illinois here in just a second. But Illinois, it's $25.91. And my joke is that that's because they don't volunteer much in Illinois, so it's harder to get them, and it makes it worth a little bit more. But in Indiana, volunteer time, our 2 chapters here, $17,767 worth of volunteer time from this chapter, Speedway chapter. And if we throw in what they have done in York-Rite, they're kind of coming on again, so they don't have very many volunteer hours. But $17,000 going there. Community service projects. These are things this chapter does in the community. If you've heard of Relay for Life, the raising of money for cancer, this chapter is exclusively one of the top chapters in the world. And so when we look at community service, they had 48 community service projects in the 3 years in this chapter. And we look at York-Rite chapter, they're, as I said, coming up. But the community service hours for this chapter, 1,407 community service hours. Now remember that $24.13? Well, if we apply that to it, then that dollar value of that service for this chapter is $33,377. Think about that. These are young guys, 14 to 21, and the guys that are older are away at college already, and some of them even come back and help out. But $33,000. That's an amazing contribution to the community this chapter is located in. York-Rite had 2,000, so between York-Rite and Speedway chapter, we have $35,935. That's an amazing number that we have. Now, we got a couple more that make a huge difference. The Masonic service. We're sponsored by Masons. So Masons give a lot to us. They give us a place to meet. They support us financially. Speedway chapter had 32 Masonic service projects. York-Rite had 5. Masonic service hours for Speedway, 834. For York-Rite, 71. The total dollar value, now remember $33,000 in service projects? Now I'm going to give you a separate number for Masonic service projects. $15,187 for this chapter. For York-Rite chapter, $1,700. So the total dollar value of 2 chapters in Indiana of helping the Masonic groups that make them possible, $16,900. Now, if we take the total dollar value of the service projects and the Masonic projects that these two chapters have done, for Speedway chapter, it's $46,564. For York Ride, it's $4,271. So these two chapters in Indiana have contributed in Masonic service and community service $52,835, the bulk of that coming from this chapter, Speedway chapter. That's a lot to be proud of in terms of what happened. Now, one other thing that we want the advisors to be aware of is, one of the questions that is asked, well, okay, so we do stuff for your chapter. Do any of those kids ever join the lodge? Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, they do. 5 people from this chapter have joined the Masonic Lodge. York Ride's very young right now, so you have a total of 5 young men from this chapter that have joined Masonry and gone on to other things. And these are kids that are some of them aren't even 21 yet, and they're already Masons, and some of them have already been officers and done things in the chapter. Now, because we have John Haney here, who is a deputy member of the Supreme Council of DeMolay, he's also chair of the Ritual and Regalia Committee. He's a past State Master Counselor of Illinois DeMolay. He's also the past International Congress Secretary. And so, just to kind of get John involved, I looked at 2 of the chapters in Illinois. Got 2 in Indiana, let's take a look at 2 from Illinois. So we take a look at Illinois, and we have, in terms of members initiated, the 2 chapters had 50. So we have a total of 82 DeMolays in just 2 states. 4 chapters in 2 states, 82 DeMolays. We look at the number of scholarships received, it goes to 10. We add the total scholarship value for Illinois, it's $32,800. Now if we add up Illinois and Indiana, it's $57,900. Think about that, moms and dads. That's a lot of money for scholarships for your young man. We could go down and do some other things in there. Philanthropic projects for Indiana and Illinois, 20. Total dollar value, $25,200. If we look at the community service projects, 1,552 hours, the total dollar value, because it's a little more money in Illinois, so if you average it out, it's about $25.91. $39,391. And then we get into the numbers like the Masonic service hours in Illinois, it was 1,041. Total dollar value between Illinois and Indiana is $26,000. And then if we finally do the combination of service hours and Masonic service hours, and the dollar value is $66,000. Young people, 14 to 21, have contributed in 3 years $66,000 for Masonic service and community service projects. You guys deserve a heck of a lot of credit for that, because that's the kind of thing that's going to make you that community-oriented, that service learning, that kind of service and leadership that we want to see you guys become for future young men and citizens of our country. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing, not only for your community, not only for what you're doing for your sponsoring body, and also a special recognition to the advisors of this chapter who make this all possible. That's what you 2 guys are a part of. And we're looking for great things. And by the way, you have a great voice, so you're going to be doing ritual real quick. Sam, I can tell already you're ready to go. Get one of those parts and get involved real fast. One other person I want to introduce is Rod Ira, who's also a deputy member of the International Supreme Council, an Indiana advisor. He and I worked with Bachelor Chapter in Bloomington, Indiana. And, you know, there's some great stuff going on. And you guys are at the center of all of that. You want great ritualists? Look at Speedway. You want great people that are committed to projects and helping their community? Look at Speedway. You want guys who say thanks to their Masonic sponsors? Look at Speedway. You want some of the finest young men in DeMolay anywhere? Look at Speedway. You know, we can criticize Speedway, and I've written about it, that, you know, people get a little jealous about what you guys do and your accomplishments. We can criticize that, But the challenge to everybody else is try to do what they do. Try to be anywhere near as good as Speedway is. Try to match anything that they do in any way possible, and you will have one of the finest DeMolays anywhere. Indiana DeMolay is obviously the beneficiary of having Speedway DeMolays and DeMolays like Speedway DeMolays in Indiana. So thank you for what you've done. Thank you for the honor of naming a class after me. Thanks to you. You know what I may do? I may even see if I could sign your card and your certificate of membership. See if I can get on that, because I'm so pleased that you're a part of DeMolay. I'm being a little facetious because I sign them all day. When you see the card, you'll see my name on it. When you see your certificate, and it's an honor for me to do that.
Yeah, use your real pen.
Yeah. Any piece of paper, I do it right now. So again, thank you, Griffin. Thank you.
Before you go, we would like to present you with this plaque that reads, "In grateful appreciation of unwavering support for Speedway Chapter through the years, and especially during the DeMolay Centennial, we hereby designate Dad Keith Klein, past Grand Master and honorary member of Speedway Chapter, Order of DeMolay, on this 20th day of April 2019. Griffin Vermeulen, Master Counselor."